And the 12th spot to the number 73, the familiar colors for Larry Barnett out of Woosum.
Then it will be the mayor of New London in car number 45, a longtime competitor, Tommy Shea. Next door to him in car number 64 is a driver from Moosip, Michael Malburn.
15th starting spot goes to the number 10. That's Hank Stott out of Medway, Mass. And Nicholas Anderson starts next in the 00, hailing from Oxford, Massachusetts.
Driving the 75 car from Danielson, Randall Waterman. And stationed next to him in car number 11, the man behind the wheel is a veteran, Jack Aquilina.
And the 19th starting spot goes to the Swaggin' Wagon, the number 55 of Sean Monahan from Waterford.
And we are ready to turn them loose. They almost come together at the start, Fanning and Sundin. Sundin able to survive, but it is Fanning who will have a temporary lead, and Sundin fights back.
Yeah, just like they're hooked together there out of turn 2. Sundin with just a little bit of an advantage down on the bottom, but again, they'll race side by side into turn 3.
Ryan Waterman moving into third, trying to make something happen as they rabble-rouse their way off the corner on the outside. Fanning getting some bite, trying to take the lead away from Scott Sundin.
Yeah, and he is trying it hard on the outside. Sundin, however, with a little bit of a burst out of turn 2, will stick the nose back out front. Meanwhile, right behind them, Waterman trying to decide, go high, go low. Who's he going to follow as this battle continues side by side?
As Waterman, not a very patient driver. Around goes Sundin. Sundin swirls his way into the fourth corner, comes up being pointed in the right direction, and he continues, but he took a magical mystery tour like he was on a tilt-a-whirl. Now trying to blast into the lead is Ryan Waterman.
Yeah, Waterman stayed to the bottom on that one and avoided contact with Sundin when he went around, and takes advantage of that groove because he drives right down underneath to now take the lead, and he'll lead that lap in the 24.
But what a great recovery by Brent Gleason. That car started rocking like a hobby horse, and he was able to reel it back in. Now goes sideways again between turns 1 and 2.
Yeah, hard time keeping the handle on that 0-1. The 19 approaches him now in that race right up there towards the front. They are battling for the 4th spot.
Sean Monahan in trouble. He had to start at the rear of the field. At the front of the field, Jesse Gleason moving into second place. Ryan Waterman has the lead, and now here comes Corey Fanning. He is looking to machete his way underneath the 81 car.
Fanning trying to get back up to the front, right on the back bumper of the 81, but can't quite make the pass. This time, pulls right back up on the bottom, right on the back bumper. The 81 protects the bottom, and 47 has nowhere to run.
Ryan Waterman leading by the length of the George Washington Bridge. Pretty healthy lead, unusual in the limited sportsman division. Now Kyle Garrow pestering the back bumper of the Brent Gleason car. So Garrow, the straight arrow, trying to go down low, but taking up all the real estate is Brent Gleason.
Gleason with a big lead. Caution comes out, and it's Sundin again in trouble here out of turn 4, that number 36, and this time this will bring out a caution with that spin.
He had the lead. He did a full spin in turn number 4, was pointed in the right direction and was able to continue. But the yellow comes out for the first time today on lap number 5. So the big lead that Ryan Waterman has erected has just came tumbling down, and he will go side by side on a restart to a veteran, Jesse Gleason. And Ryan Waterman and Gleason have had some history in the past, so it'll be a very interesting restart about to unfold.
Pretty good battle going back there in the round 4th and 5th between Brent Gleason in the 0-1 and Kyle Garrow in the 19. They'd been duking it out for the last few laps.
You know, you look right behind Garrow, you see Megan Fuller in the 2 car. The car owner, one of the legends of Thompson, Broadway Joe Plonsky. You know, one of the real good guys of motorsports, and he is very, they are very happy. Rick Fuller, the car owner, and his daughter, they are very happy to be associated with Joe Plonsky. And right behind them, that is Van Pelt. So Jeff Van Pelt seems to get better every year. Now, Ryan Morgan in the 31. You look in the safety road, you see the 31 late model. So as soon as this race is over, Ryan Morgan will climb out of his limited sportsman and into the late model. But when you're as young as Ryan is, you can do that without any trouble.
Presto changeo, just like that.
Our contingency sponsors for the limited sportsman division, Northeast Race Cars and Parts. They will be giving a $25 product certificate to the winner of a random draw and a $25 product certificate to the race winner. And also the winner will get pizza and beer. And hopefully we will get invited to that party, Pete, but it hasn't happened yet.
You know, that's like the old carrot on a stick, only it's a pizza and beer on the end of that stick, enough to make you want to really race to victory lane and get up and enjoy the pizza and beer at the Raceway restaurant.
Yeah, make your right foot about as big as Shaquille O'Neal's.
Yeah.
Try to get to that pizza line in time. Right now, it's Ryan Waterman. He was a dominant factor for the first 5 laps, but that could change by virtue of this double file restart, as Gleason will be sitting in his lap. Corey Fanning, the last time we were here was one of the most frantic finishes of the season. When Fanning won, Ryan Waterman bounced off the wall, and he thought he had won. So it was a great way to end the Sportsman season a year ago, and it looks like we are headed in the same direction today.
Now they'll double them up side by side for the restart as the lights go off on the Thompson Speedway pace car, and they'll get ready to get back at it. 5 laps complete out of this limited sportsman feature.
And Ryan Waterman, usually pretty good on restarts. He just drives hard from lap 1 to lap 20. There is never any change in his strategy, so he has elected to go to the outside groove, and we'll see if that pays off for him. Then Corey Fanning, Kid Chaos. I don't know if that nickname is still appropriate, as he has got a lot more mature over the past few seasons, but he is running third as we get ready to turn him loose.
Green flag is in the air, and here comes that drag race across the line, side by side, going down into turn 1, but the advantage is on the outside for Ryan Waterman. He gets the jump and will lead them out of turn 2.
And Gleason, trouble a little deeper in the field, as that is Kyle Garrow in the 19 car, and he skids into the wall in the middle of the infield. You probably can't see it from your perch in the bleachers, but there is a wall about right where Garrow is, and he ran into it. And Garrow, was a top 5 car before that spill.
I think there was a little bit of tussling going on as they headed out of turn 2, and that just got him out of shape enough to slide down into the infield. Not a hard hit on that wall. In fact, he's able to back it off and drive away. The question is if the damage is enough that he won't be able to continue. But provided the right front fender isn't stoved in on the wheel, he might be able to continue.
So we'll check out the status of Kyle Garrow in his second year. He won a championship in the X-Car division at New London Waterford Speed Bowl, and decided after he won that championship that it was time for a new challenge, and he picked the limited sportsman division at Thompson for that challenge. There is Sean Monahan. There is a lot of duct tape on the front of that. It looks like a scene from The Mummy, Brendan Fraser's movie. So some duct tape looks like stitches on a baseball, keeping that front end in place.
He's had a tough debut of the Swag and Wagon this weekend, but nonetheless still one of the more beautiful cars in the field here this afternoon.
As we commented during the banner raising party, is the banners of Keith Rocco, Nick Johnson, Sean Monahan, and Eric Burgoyce were raised right on the back of our announce booth. And on a wagon, you got room for a bigger bullseye. So the defending champion is also a target, but they have a lot to go after in that wagon. In the 20 years that I've been here, I can never remember a wagon in the limited sportsman So Sean Monahan, a pioneer.
I guess in racing we'd call that a coach. If you remember back to the great old modified days when it was coops and coaches in the field.
That's good because sometimes Sean needs a coach
Yeah.
to keep him out of trouble. But there has been no trouble up at the front where Ryan Waterman and Jesse Gleason are hanging out as we will cross them up and we will be ready to resume. 15 laps remaining. And one thing about the Sportsman, you know you are always going to see sparks. Larry Barnett trying to make his way from 11th place. Larry Barnett, the all-time win leader in the Sportsman division. So he is on the inside of row number 5, and we'll see if he can make some progress. So the moment of truth has arrived for Ryan Waterman going to the outside of Jesse Gleason, and we'll see if that strategy will be profitable for Ryan Waterman, a man who goes 100%, 200% of the time, and it is Waterman getting the jump over Jesse Gleason.
Yeah, down into turn 1, he'll lead him by a length. Gleason will slide up the racetrack and just about make contact with Corey Fanning, as Fanning was right there on the left rear quarter panel going through the first and second turn. But he's able to get away, and once again, that lead starts to open up for the 24 of Ryan Waterman.
Boy, it didn't take long for Ryan Waterman to start dominating again. Here is Fanning. Now he is side by side with Megan Fuller, and that is the 01 car, who is Brent Gleason, who has moved up into the top 3.
Yeah, he's on the move again, battling car handling-wise a little bit. We see it, the back end come out on him coming out of turn 4, but he's able to keep it straight and hold on to that third spot, pedaling as hard as he can to try and catch the second place runner in Jesse Gleason.
And there is Megan in the 2 car trying to stay ahead of the 13 of Jeff Van Pelt. Larry Barnett making a move as he roller coasters his way underneath Michael Malburn. So Barnett still has something left. Pretty good battle as those 2 cars are Velcro together, Malburns and Barnett. But while all this chaos is happening deep in the pack, Waterman is able to fortify his lead.
Yeah, he's pulled it out now to about 8 or 10 car lengths as he heads down the backstretch. Meanwhile, Jeff Van Pelt battling an ill-handling car. He actually got a little loose and gave up a spot a couple of laps ago. Now he's got to contend with Larry Barnett, who's up there in the 73. And also coming out of nowhere is Sean Monahan in the 55.
I was going to say that. He started in the wilderness and is now in the middle of the pack. The dominant factor continues to be Ryan Waterman, as he has a healthy lead over the combination of the Gleason brothers. Jesse, the older one, is in car number 81, and the younger brother, Brent, is in the 01. Fanning in the neighborhood, so is Megan Fuller to round out the top 5.
Yeah, the 01 of Brent Gleason feeling the heat from Corey Fanning, as he was able to pull right up on the back bumper a lap ago. Now it's a length and a half between them, and Megan Fuller starts to close on.
Now, Brent Gleason is another one of those drivers who usually has a stronger car at the end of the race than he does in the beginning. So he is looking for some elbow room to exploit against Jesse. And in his own planet, on his own island, that's Ryan Waterman Island, as he continues to have a ginormous lead over the Gleason brothers.
He's even got a left front fender that's kind of peeled back there in the front, certainly not impeding his forward motion, as he has really opened up that big lead. Then the Gleason brothers, Corey Fanning and Megan Fuller. That rounds out the top 5.
Because Ryan Waterman drives so hard, there is usually some damage on his car. But this is not Project Runway, a fashion show. He just wants to get it to the winner's circle, and right now he sees a side-by-side battle in his rearview mirror. Jesse Gleason on the outside and Brett Gleason on the inside.
Yeah, they're duking it out for that second spot. 0-1 down on the inside with a slight advantage down into turn 3. As they get back on the throttle out of the fourth turn, he's able to clear them, and Brent Gleason will take over the second spot.
One driver having some tough luck, Larry Barnett. He has lost 3 positions in the last couple of laps. So right now, Larry is in 10th. He was a lot closer, and trying to close in on a victory is Ryan Waterman. When he hits the stripe, he'll be 5 laps away.
Yeah, and he continues to open up that lead. The 0-1 of Brent Gleason has broken away from the rest of the field, but does not seem to be closing any ground on our leader. Only got about 4.5 laps to do it.
And a little deeper in the field, we see Ryan Morgan 1 spot ahead of Sundin. So Sundin, who had some difficulties at the start of the race, he has been pretty smooth in the second half and has climbed all the way up to the top 8. Around goes the 00, and that is Nick Anderson. A little magical mystery tour for him, as he likely got caught on a tilt-a-whirl, and he got knocked around, but we stay under green.
Yeah, that they were able to keep going, and thus they'll come across the line to complete 17 laps. There's only 3 of them to go. That was good for our leader, that's for sure. Ryan Waterman, a caution flag could have changed the outcome of this race, but he maintains that big lead on the backstretch.
Yeah, the last thing Ryan Waterman wants to do is have a double file restart against Brent Gleason. So we have all kinds of commotion in turn number 1, but at the front of the field, it is nothing but blue skies for Ryan Waterman.
Sure, as he is able to pedal it out of turn 2 and down the backstretch. Try as he might, Brent Gleason in the 0-1 just hasn't been able to close. He's put a great distance between himself and Corey Fanning to be in a very comfortable second spot, but he just can't close on the leader, as the leader will go under the white flag this time, and 1 more lap to go.
Could this be a coronation lap for Ryan Waterman? Brent Gleason is trying. He is chasing him down, but he will be running out of laps. Fanning in 3rd, Jesse Gleason 4th, Megan Fuller 5th, Jeff Van Horn is 6th. But in the spotlight, here comes Ryan Waterman, as he is able to freight train his way off the 4th corner.
Yeah, and he even hangs it out a little bit out of turn 4 in sort of a victory wiggle to take the win in the number 24. The 0-1 will settle for 2nd, Brent Gleason. 3rd will go to Corey Fanning in the 47, and the 81 of Jesse Gleason will round out the top 4.
Then in 5th, it was in 5th, Jess Van Pelt, Sean Monahan 6th. In 7th, Scott Sundin. Ryan Morgan is in 8th. In 9th, Larry Barnett. 10th, Zach Robinson. 11th, Mike Malburn. 12th, Kyle Garrow. 13th, Randy Waterman. 14th, Jack Aquilina. 15th, Ed Correa. 16th, Hank Stott. 17th, Nick Anderson. Tommy Shea, 18th. Now, Corey Fanning has been put to 19th, and Kevin Mason did not start the race. And what we are hearing as the smoke show, the smoke monster has arrived here. We are hearing that the number 47 of Corey Fanning lost his transponder, so he will be scored 19th. And the top 5 is Ryan Waterman, Brent Gleason 2nd, Jesse Gleason 3rd, Megan Fuller 4th, and Jeff Van Pelt, one of the best finishes in his career. And we said he gets better with every season, and he proved it. Now Critical Signs victory lane is open, and it will be that number 24 of Ryan Waterman to get the win. When he won the championship a few years ago, he didn't win a race, but he has won consistently since then. And the smoke is cleared. Well, not quite. And the celebration has started for Ryan Waterman. Has had his dad race at Thompson. His brothers have raced at Thompson. But the most successful of the Waterman clan is Ryan Waterman. So the smoke will clear. Once again, our contingency sponsors, Northeast Race Cars and Parts. They'll give $25 to Ryan and $25 to a random draw winner. And Raceway Restaurant pizza and beer. And if Ryan, if you can hear us, Pete and I aren't doing anything after the race, so we'll probably be hungry. But right now, the thrill of victory for Ryan Waterman. He climbs out of the car. And getting ready to interview our winner is Dave Barable.
And in critical signs victory lane on the roof of his car is Ryan Waterman. And Ryan, nothing is ever how as it seems, but it certainly seemed you were out for a Sunday drive here at Thompson Motorsports Park.
Yeah, that's what it felt like. I came here to win, and that's what I'm going to do.
So some sponsors behind the 24 that you want to thank for getting you here to critical signs victory lane.
The car owner, Randy Chamberlain, my father, B&B Motors, Storage, etc., Bella Vance and Roy, Franco's Pizza, my little brother Troy, my brother Randy, my girlfriend Meg.
And guys, his victory speech may have been short and sweet, but he certainly got to the point. Your winner, Ryan Waterman.
So the victory lane celebration, at least the interview part of it, is over. And now it is Ryan Waterman, former champion here, and always a man to watch. As there is no finesse in Ryan's game. He is one of the most aggressive drivers in the division and one of the most successful drivers in the division. And now his Team Waterman surrounds their driver, engulfs him, and it will be a big moment for Ryan Waterman to start the season with a victory. Coming up next will be the late models. Two guys stood out in heat racing yesterday. William Wall from Shrewsbury in the Wall Trucking number 4 Massachusetts car, and another Massachusetts driver, Tom Carey, who also did a great job. So I think you look from top to bottom, 23 drivers in the late models. This is going to be a barn burner.
And they get some speed going out there too, particularly the track conditions are certainly in their favor today with the temperatures that we have and the minimal wind. They're just going to be flying around here momentarily.